think that all it took was a little old-fashioned lying, like when we told the American people it would be good for the economy. Well, Keystone is only going to drive the price of oil up!
Yeah, that was that goofy ad that was so ridiculous that not even MSNBC would run it. Well, listen, as I told you before the break, a hedge fund billionaire from San Francisco promised to give Barack Obama's party $100 million if they nixed the Keystone XL pipeline, and so Obama nixed the Keystone XL pipeline again. It's been more than 5 years of delay. Hey, imagine if you could earn that kind of money by being paid to make no decisions and do nothing. It's becoming a serious diplomatic incident. The Prime Minister's office said this, quote, "We're disappointed that politics continue to delay a decision on the Keystone XL. This project will create tens of thousands of jobs on both sides of the border, will enhance the energy security of North America, has strong public support, and the U.S. State Department has on multiple occasions acknowledged it will be environmentally sound." Listen, I love America, and I know this is just the extremists from San Francisco and Chicago getting together to promote their own ideology, but I think it's time to send the new American ambassador to Canada home for a while to think about things. Joining us now from Washington is a great American who knows what's in America's interest, getting off of OPEC conflict oil and getting off of Tom Steyer's snake oil. Mark Morano joins us now. Mark, I love America. It takes a bit of an effort these days when we get so much anti-Canada hate and anti-Canada trade sanctions from Tom Steyer and his buddies. But I know he doesn't represent most Americans who want this Keystone XL pipeline, right?
No, he doesn't. In fact, Tom Steyer has a problem within the Democratic Party. At one point, he was threatening to go after Democrats, and I think 11 United States senators wrote a letter to President Obama recently imploring him to allow the Keystone pipeline, to approve it. Tom Steyer was at one point made a veiled threat to go after them and then backed away from that. But this is just a mess of politics on the Democratic Party side, and President Obama is doing the only thing he can do, which is nothing politically for him, because he doesn't want to take any chances. You know, you have Labor's International Union with Terry O'Sullivan, the president, going after essentially Obama and environmentalists, saying the president is siding with environmentalists over American jobs. So you have one base, the Democratic Party, upset with him. You have Tom Steyer threatening his own Democrats, and President Obama knows that he can't endorse this before a midterm election because he would have fallout among the environmentalists, among some of his billionaire donors. So he's just decided to punt. Now we're after the elections, after the 2014 election.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, $100 million in a year in donations is such a staggering sum. And really, he's not going to get any success in those red states. Anyways, let me read you a quote that Tom Steyer put out from his San Francisco luxury mansion. He said, "This is rotten eggs for TransCanada and good news on Good Friday for those who oppose Keystone as not being our nation's best interest." Of course, you know, I was doing the math on the way into work today, Mark, and $100 million, you know, every single day Venezuela sells about 750,000 barrels of oil per day to the United States because they don't have the Keystone XL. So that's about $70 million in one single day. So in just 2 days worth of sales to Venezuela, from Venezuela.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how much money Tom Steyer's putting in, just a drop in the bucket. I bet you that Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, all these OPEC countries are laughing and praying and thanking Tom Steyer, because his $100 million sounds like a lot to you and me, but compared to the amount of dough Americans spend on OPEC oil because of his blocking, they're getting rich. This is chump change to them.
It is. Even Obama's, one of his former national security advisors testified recently this would put a huge smile on Putin's face if we reject the Keystone pipeline. I mean, strategically, it makes no sense. Economically, it makes no sense. Energy-wise, it makes no sense. The only way this makes sense to oppose the pipeline is through Democratic Party politics and fundraising, and that's the only reason we're getting these delays. Yeah. And I think I see it continuing for the foreseeable future. He may delay this all the way till he's out of office. But this is very similar to the fracking issue in a way when it comes to emissions. If they don't have this pipeline built, they're going to come in other means, rail and train and trucks. And what's going to happen then? You're going to have higher emissions from that. The same with fracking. If we start regulating fracking, which Obama administration's made their intent, we're also going to have higher emissions because fracking is what's taken over for coal. The U.S. is now leading the world in emission reduction, if you care about that, CO2 emissions, through fracking and technology. And we could continue to do ethical oil. It makes so much sense on so many levels to get the Keystone pipeline. But Democratic Party politics makes that impossible at the moment. That's where we are.
Mark, you know what? I'm going to write a column in tomorrow's Sun. I hope you don't take it personally. I'm going to call on our Prime Minister to send the U.S. ambassador home to think about what he's doing to damage Canada-U.S. relations. I love Americans, but I think we've got to kick that Goldman Sachs banker, bundler, Democrat ambassador. We got a new ambassador who's buddies with Tom Steyer. They were bankers at Goldman together. I think we got to put him on ice to realize the damage he's doing to our two countries' relationship. Mark, we'll see you again next week, I hope.